Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Warships with Ungainly Titan. And yeah, things didn't go very well with me in World of Warships for this particular video. I had a video already planned and arranged, and there was a glitch in the recording. There was a couple of glitches in the recordings, there was blank frames, and there's a few other things. Now, I think they were my own fault, given something that happened during the recording. I was recording from a replay, and the next thing I know, it's not pretty good quality. So I thought, no problem, I'll go back, I'll rerun the replay and I'll record it again. It could have been a driver issue, it could have been various things. I know I had issues with game stability and drivers. I get that regularly, it occurs, it seems to be every time the certain Windows updates and certain in video updates, they're slightly out of sync, and one happens and then you get instability on the video drivers. And then in video updates and everything's back to normal again, but when I went to my replays, I had deleted the replays. So I thought, no problem, I'll go and I'll record a few games of World of Warships, and shouldn't be any great difficulty. Well, yeah, that didn't work out too well either. I started around 8:30. I was still at it around 11 o'clock, mostly because the training wheels have come off. Well, I'll correct and clarify that. I actually finished around 10:30, and yes, the training wheels have come off. What do I mean by that? Well, you know, if you've been watching my previous World of Warships videos, you might realise how I commented on the fact that a lot of the players were bots, and there seemed to be very few humans playing World of Warships. And I had seen something on the forums suggest that if you are a newbie in World of Warships, below a certain level of games, you only get to play with people of similar experience, and if there's not enough of them, you get to play with bots, or they fill out the matchmaking with bots. Well, I've crossed the threshold that they regard as experienced, and now I no longer get to play with bots. It's all real boys and girls. So I am no longer playing with people of similar skills and robots that are deliberately made dumb. No, I'm playing with real people. They put the Noob hat on my head, send me into the queue, and the seal clubbers just line up. To make it more difficult, of course, I bought the St. Louis, the Tier 3 American cruiser. And what you have been looking so far is actually the highlights of the first game in the St. Louis, which, in hindsight, compared to all the other games that I had afterwards, was not actually a terrible game. I just thought it was a terrible game because I performed pretty badly in comparison to my previous games, where I was playing against bots mostly, and people who were as green as I was. No, when you're playing against real people who actually have some experience in the game, it is a lot harder. Now, what are the lot harder things? First thing that really stands out is that at long range, and at short range if they're in destroyers, people are much harder to hit, but they're really much harder to hit at long range. That is, I might hit them maybe a few rounds out of every third or fourth salvo might hit. The problem is that when they get my range, the reverse is not true. No, not at all. They will hit me with every damn salvo they're firing, because I'm not maneuvering, I don't know, fast enough, well enough, predictably enough. I'm not too sure what it is that I'm not doing, but I'm not doing it right. So I got a spanking after spanking. Or, well, this game actually was the second game in the St. Louis again, and it wasn't... Oh, this was a complete loss of situational awareness. That battleship over there that I was shooting at the beginning, I have 80 damaging ribbons got against him. But I had only about 20% of his health, maybe 25% of his health removed. And while I was doing that, the rest of my team died around me. I didn't notice, and of course then I got surrounded by ships, torpedoes, destroyers, all sorts of stuff, and died. Then I tried again, and again I ran into torpedoes, destroyers, cruisers, caught on fire, surrounded. Can't hit the destroyers to save my life. can't evade the torpedoes. Well, evaded some, but they're actually firing the torpedoes at quite long ranges. And if you get some warning and there's only one of them, you can avoid it. But if there's multiple destroyers in the water, and there was at least 2, if not 3 of them there, you just get caught. So I went back down to the Chester, and no, that didn't help. Ran aground, surrounded, and the speed at which your health evaporates is just not funny. And destroyers again. Destroyers, yes, they're very hard to hit. They have torpedoes, and when you're reversing, you need to reverse the keys. You use A and D keys to turn, because you're going to turn the opposite way to which you would turn if you were going forward. So I turned broadside into the torpedoes rather than going the other way. So I dropped back down to the Erie, and well, this wasn't the first game I had in the Erie tonight. I had 4 or 5 games in the Erie before I had a halfway decent game. This is probably the best of them, and it's the one I'm going to show in completion. I had a couple of games after this, and the last game I had was at 10:30. So from around 9:45, that was a Monday night. This is Monday night. It's kind of pushing on to 2 o'clock now. So around 10:30, the numbers in the queue actually dropped off fairly dramatically. Now, I don't know whether this is because I am low tier, in a low tier queue, and the numbers dropped off. And the other thing is that so there's like 12 battleships or 12 cruisers in this particular game, but it dropped down to like 8, 4. The last game I had 4 ships, which is not as much fun, because then you tend to blunder about looking for each other a bit, and I think between 7 and whatever the max, I don't know what the maximum number is probably the best scenario to be in the World of Warships. But it is interesting that once you pass a certain level, there are no bots, and that the queue numbers are actually not that huge. Certainly at the lower tiers, the queue numbers are not that huge. People are complaining about the numbers in the queues in World of Tanks console, and I would say there are much more people in the queues in World of Tanks console than there are in the low tier queues in World of Tanks or World of Warships. And I must investigate further actually and see if World of Warplanes uses bots at all levels, or if it's a newbie experience thing as well, and if past a certain point it's no bots, people only matchmaking. Don't know. So what have I learned? Well, the first thing I've learned is I need to get better at gunnery. I need to get a lot better at gunnery. And the second thing is islands are your friend. Have an island nearby at all times so that you can hide behind it or run away. You put it between you and the enemy and just run away. Be willing to run away at every possible opportunity as soon as people start shooting. Particularly if they are better at shooting at you than you are at shooting at them. I think by the end my gunnery had improved a little bit, but then it's because I was probably a tier 1 and they're not that much better than me. That if I go back up to the higher tiers, I will get spanked just as hard as I did tonight. So I'll probably be a while before before I'm ready to venture for a paddling like that again, or volunteer for another one of those. So yes, I don't seem to be very good at putting the rounds amidships either to get the fires or the citadel hits that I need. Other people seem to be quite good at it. I suppose at the low tier the cooldown and repair is pretty fast, but as you go up the repairs take quite a while. So yes, I can see why Jingles offers the advice that was only one fire, you let it burn out rather than treated, but then you have a lot more hit points at higher tiers as well, so you can afford to let them burn out for a bit. Whereas down here, not really. So we had managed to get a second kill, and I'm sort of hovering in and out of the edge of view range here. But I am detected now. He's out of range. So who's spotting me? Where is the near ship? He's still out of range. No, I'm no longer detected. My allies are going around the other side of an island, and I must find out about that mod that I see them using, where ships are last detected. Is that a mod? Oh, now I'm in trouble because I spotted him, or he was spotted by allies. But these guys have suddenly come up into range, and I'm broadside onto them. Fortunately, one of them has been taken down, and I keep mucking back and forth. Is that shot on target? No, I don't think so. I think it fell short. And I've only got a limited number of guns to fire at this point. And I'm starting to drop out of range as well, and that fell short as well. I don't think that hit anything. And one of them's going behind the island. One of them is out of range. I'm no longer detected, so it's because the guy that's nearest to me, the 6 kilometers, was out of range, and he's been killed. I think the 3 ships that they are on my right, that are well in front of me actually, they have managed to take out 2 or 3 of those ships that were shooting at me earlier on. And as far as I know, yes, because it reduces the enemy points as well. As far as I know, I don't see any further action for the rest of this game. And I don't think those two remaining ships, I presume, get taken out. But I don't see it happening. So I'm cruising back up to try and re-engage the battlefield. I have precious little health left. But we can see that some of our ships are engaged with one of the enemy ships, and I can't see what's going on elsewhere. And I suppose there's no need why I should be zoomed in telescope or binocular view. I could have pulled back. Possibly one of them might have been visible there briefly, but it's all over now, and we have won. So I got a First Blood award as my kind of heroic award. Silver came 4th by experience, which I think is not too bad considering. So I hope you found it interesting. If you did, please give it a like. If you've not already done so, please subscribe. I'll catch you all again soon. Bye for now.